2, 3.
We are the ManCave.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the ManCave, everybody. I'm your host, Clay Williams. And on this great, entertaining episode, I got my little cohorts, my little goons.
Lou.
Cause he got, man,
Because he got muscles, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. Cause he feeling himself.
I was just waiting for this, right?
He got a muscle shirt on. He did about 100 push-ups
Clay,
before
a.k.a.
this.
the mannequin. Clay man.
That's all right.
So I got my guys here. So my man George over here, Shayo, and the big homie, or little homie, however you want to put it.
Throw a shoe at you. It's going to connect.
Little homie.
Jazz. So on today's episode, we're going to discuss, gentlemen, manhood.
Right.
All right, so who defines manhood?
The size of your bed.
Next topic. Done. Next topic.
I'm sorry. I had to
Well,
go
that's
there.
how we feel.
Had
That's
to
how
go
we
there.
feel right
You
Had
can
to
talk.
go
You got it.
So,
Clay, you all right?
I'm good. I'm
straight?
good.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
Good.
so
You got the little goatee going.
I'm Mr. Sexy over here, so, you know, I ain't worried about that.
America. We still Bernie America.
So what do y'all, you know, what's your take as far as, like, you know, I guess individually, like, what is manhood to you guys?
Like when you're accountable for your well-being and potentially others. So like if you have a child, right, and we're known to be absentee dads for some strange reason, right? Because there are a lot of children out there that are fatherless, and a lot of them look like you and I, right? So I think being a man is one that accept those responsibilities and take those on, right? Because you gotta be there for your kids, but for some strange reason, just because they didn't have that, they think that they can step out and step away from that. It's kind of strange to me.
So the fact that we all grow up, or for the most part, you know, you grow up as a male, that doesn't define you as being a man.
No,
Definitely
no, absolutely not.
I think when you start putting food on your own table, and there's no man doing that but you, I feel like you're a man.
Yeah.
You know, there are kids that are like 12 years old that I feel like are men.
Yeah.
They have to provide that for themselves.
And for
And
their household.
mom sometimes.
Yeah, and for
Yeah.
their household
Yeah.
at times. You know what I
Also, just being responsible for your actions. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're putting food on the table and you're still doing kid stuff, you know what I'm saying, or acting like a child, I can't define you as a man.
Right.
You know, like a big part of it is being responsible for things that you do, taking ownership of it for it. You know what I'm saying, and being able to say, I did this and I own it.
Right.
You know, try to fix it.
So we tend to lack a lot for the most part, you know, the definition of manhood, because there's more like, you know, young men out here who don't have that type of guidance, you know, or mentorship, or, you know, some role models, you know, to say, you know, like, listen, guys, you guys are steering yourself in the wrong direction and stuff like that. That's why I could always, at the end of the day, respect, you know, you cats, you know what I'm saying? Because I know you guys got a lot of stuff going on in the terms of what it is that y'all trying to do within the community and stuff like that to push, you know, for these young guys out here and stuff. So, you know, I try to do my little part in my own little way, you know what I mean? But you guys are really on a big scale with your whole, you know, clothing mentorship program and stuff, so.
Yeah, but like back when I was young, right, I had OGs who were around and they'd pull our coattails because they may see something in us that we didn't see in ourselves, and they don't want us to end up like them, right? So nowadays, like, I don't even see kids outside playing anymore. Like,
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
the
know
whole
when they were-
dynamic changed.
Yeah,
The whole
it's
dynamic changed.
crazy.
I mean, it's a tech age. Everybody's on their phones and video games and stuff.
So now they don't have that old guy to sit them down like, yo, you don't want to do this.
Right. Back then, you know, it was
Back then.
truly a village. You know what I'm saying? Raising one another and stuff like that. You know, everybody took accountability for, you know, somebody else's child and stuff like that. And you don't have much of that going on, you know, anymore. Like the other day, I just saw, like these kids posting like these fights on
that's
social
crazy.
media and stuff like that. I think it just happened on Eastern and Coney Island.
Wow.
These guys are out there just going reckless. I mean, they beat this little kid unconscious, and then even while he was unconscious, they jumping on him and still kicking him while he's down and
Crazy.
stuff, you know what I mean? And then everybody's running and just watching, but you just don't see no grown folks just running to even try to help save this kid, you know what I mean? And it's just kind of like, where's our thought process nowadays?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
True, because even as adults, I mean, we see a lot of but nobody wants to step in and help anymore.
Right.
But I did see this one, like, a video, right, when it was two kids fighting in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that was out in Baltimore, right?
That was the OG that came through and stopped it.
That's when the OG steps in, like, yo, look at your friends. They're all laughing at you. They're not really your friends.
Right.
But he made sure that they actually exchanged a handshake before he parted ways.
Right.
Because you got to respect the man that if you shake his hand, right?
Absolutely.
But a lot of kids aren't being taught that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Because the men on Instagram trying to get their followers up right now.
Care about likes, man.
They recording the kids.
They giving respect for likes.
Yo, I'm
you know
live,
what I'm
son.
saying?
Look at this.
Yeah,
Kid is getting
you
his
know what I'm
ass
saying?
whooped.
Like, they giving respect for likes, man. That's why, like, for social media, for me, I don't care for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sitting here saying y'all just made a left on this block. You know what I'm saying? I look good doing it, right?
Everybody,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
everybody wants to
seriously,
showcase
get this
themselves
right.
nowadays. You know, like social media has just made it so acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to advertise themselves. Everybody wants to, you know, promote some type of falsehood that they're not really living.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it's crazy. You know. So like moving forward, like, do y'all feel like women can raise a man?
They play a huge role.
To a certain extent,
they
they can't
play-
teach us the nuances of being a man.
Right, exactly.
Like, at this instance, this is what you do. Like, I learned myself, like, if I'm walking down the street and I see a bunch of hood dudes, if I'm about to pass them, I'll spit.
You what?
Dead ass. Like, I'll spit right on the ground, and they'll respect me.
Oh.
Dead
Nah, I
serious.
heard, they told me that.
That's the key.
whole
OGs told me that when I was young.
That territorial.
But
Yeah,
I
they don't
see you there, but I ain't scared. You know what I mean? But like, that's a subtle gesture that these kids,
Like your
my
comfort,
mom wouldn't teach me that. She wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I think he my dad. Cause
Thanks, Dad.
shut it off.
Right, like,
Every time I walk down my block,
No
I'm just
calling
like,
no
I cross
next
the
man
street.
daddy in the man cave, damn it. What the hell?
Father, thank you. You know,
Jail.
women play a vital role into a man's growth, you know what I'm saying? But there's just certain things, 50% of it, that you just cannot teach a young boy that's coming into a man. You know what I'm saying? They have to learn from men, righteous men. Because we talk about manhood, like, we could talk about the house, but we're going to talk about what's in the house. That's a different story. Like righteous men, you know? So it's really it's a sensitive thing and it's for a kid to grow up in a certain environment. You know, you got to be real mindful of the things that's going on around them, and also the people that's around them.
So to piggyback off of that, you're talking about, you know, environments and stuff. So let's flip it in the sense of, can a white person raise a black child?
There you go. There you go.
I'm just saying, man. I like to just throw it out
Can
there,
I
man.
be
This
real? Can I be real in the man
Sure.
cave? It's the man cave, right? Okay.
You gonna get your moment, because we know how you do.
Yo,
that. Judge,
give me my 5-minute monologue. Go ahead, bro. I think George might go in first, though.
I don't think ethnicity plays a part in being a man.
Yeah.
But as far as being a black man, only a black man can identify with another black man, theoretically, right?
Right.
Because the things we go through, a lot of times a white man probably wouldn't, right? So, like, I probably was racially profiled on the way here. Yo, I've gotten tickets just because I drive a nice car. Like, literally, I've gotten stopped, had my seatbelt on, and they said I didn't have my seatbelt on, but I know the scenario, right? So usually when the cop car pulls me over, right, this is what I'll do. Immediately, I'll pop my seatbelt, take my wallet out, take my ID out, and then take my insurance card and go like this.
Right.
So there'll be no issues. I've done that numerous times, and three of those times, I got a seatbelt ticket.
Wow.
Because when they came up to my car, I didn't have my seatbelt on. Which is weird, but you know, what could I do? So now I keep my seatbelt on.
Me too.
And when I scream
I
out,
don't know.
I'm reaching for my wallet.
Hands out, all windows down, ignition off, keys on top.
So I'm saying, in instances like that, I'm not sure, I'm not certain if the same sort of feeling or emotions will get involved with a white man if he was pulled over by the cops. Because I've seen issues when, or I've seen videos when you see a white man just yelling at the cops.
Jump out the car.
Yeah. They go away.
But I've learned from a white man that you can talk to a cop. You can, as long as you don't threaten them, you can say whatever you want.
Nah.
But I wouldn't try that if I were you.
Yeah, exactly. Because it still works out different for us.
It still works out different for us, right?
Works out way different.
So yeah, so I don't think that can happen.
George hit it. You know what I'm saying? As a man, sure. Like I said, the house, right?
Yep.
Manhood. Go inside the house. You don't know how it is to be a black man in America or in this world. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me that everybody's loves me because it's not true. Because they'll profile me just because of what they were taught growing up in their household. You know what I'm saying? Racism is a state of mind, you know, not a color at the same time. You know, a state of mind is being taught down from generation to generation. So in reality, you cannot teach me how to be a black man. You know what I'm saying? A man of color in this city.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you really have to be mindful of that. And white folks who are, you know, great people out there who are adopting folks, or, you know, adopting young kids, taking them out of crazy situations and really just loving on them, they do have to realize that these kids need to be in an environment where they see people and examples of folks that look like them who are doing great.
Yeah.
Because if they're not seeing that, then they can only just see a white person as that authority figure and they don't see any black people as that. It's a problem.
Right.
This is why we have this show too. Trying to promote that good, positive image of, you know, especially black men. Right. You know what I'm saying? Doing positive things and stuff like that. So, you know, we just trying to kind of like just drive home that, like, listen, guys, we ain't got to be out there on the street corners and stuff. We ain't got to be getting in trouble and stuff. There's enough of us out here.
Yeah, there's enough.
Trying to kind of like, you know, pound the pavement and push for positivity and progress, you know, so.
If everybody does a little, it'll add up to a lot.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Chill, man. How you feel, bro?
I mean, I think that, a white guy, you know, he could raise a black kid. Yeah, everyone thinks that. Everyone could agree with that. But you, like you said, you might not know what we're used to. Like you might think you have an understanding, but you don't. You know, I can't raise an Asian kid and tell him I understand what he's going through when Asians are making fun of him. You know, I can't, like, I could listen, but I might have to go find an Asian dude and be like, yo,
help me.
You know, teach me something I don't know.
You know, you might have to spend a little time over in China or something like that.
Yeah,
just
which
to
I
get
ain't,
the whole
you know, I heard they love us over there.
You know,
I think it's
she.
that in Japan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
Japan.
both. Any Asian country, man, we good.
Got Thailand.
Yeah.
I've never
said I
been,
know.
but I want to.
I mean, the shirt from Thailand.
Just
saying, do you see the shirt?
You know.
You shining. Brother shining.
Street from Thailand.
There you go.
All right, so moving forward, what would y'all say the fundamental differences between men and women?
We're men and they're women.
Yeah.
Next question.
It's a big one.
Yeah, this is.
I guess
this is loaded. This
yeah.
is completely loaded. So I would say that
Load the barrel.
we're more logical than emotional.
About time, let's go.
I would say that because like we'll think first, but they would.
They would beg to differ.
First.
Of course they would beg the difference.
I mean, we may not use the right thought process, but we do think first. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys, like, all right. So let me give you an example. This is why I say women are better cheaters, right? So men, we will lie. We will just to get the box, right?
Just to get it, right?
But a woman doesn't have to lie
Nah.
to get the box,
Nah, not
right?
at all.
So she would tell you straight up and down, I got a man, it's only going but so far. We can have sex and that's it. Because she knows you're still gonna do it.
Yeah.
If we tell a woman that, she's like, fuck you, I don't need you, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
And we're too scared for her to move on, so we're just gonna lie.
I'm not scared.
We ain't talking about you. Come on, man. I'll shoot at you, yo.
I'm just saying.
You don't know what we go through.
Exactly.
Fucking model motherfucker.
I'm just saying. Like,
As y'all can see, I'm the hated one on
This guy. No,
So,
but he's right though. He's right.
all right. So like there was an instance, right? I'm gonna use this as an example how I would say women are more emotional. So I was going home one day, right? I'm on a train, and I could just imagine what would have happened if I was in a relationship because I ended up with some woman's hair on my coat.
Oh, you would have died. You
right?
would have died.
So when I get home, I'm like, oh, whose hair is this?
You can't tell the truth now.
So I'm like, yo, I don't know whose hair that is.
Right.
So had I told a woman that, she'd be like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You'd have saw that face.
She's working on straight emotion, like, no, you know whose hair that is.
Right.
Like, it's blonde, I don't know.
Like, this how
But
you
she would
feel?
automatically
You going to the other
assume,
side?
based on the emotions, that I knew or I'm doing something that wasn't copacetic.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad, man. It's out here, it's bad out here in these streets, man.
Yo, it's bad. Like, dating, wrap it up.
So
That's all I'm gonna say, wrap it up.
should women be able to do everything a man can do?
Should they are?
Yeah.
Should?
Yeah.
They've been doing it because they're better at doing certain.
But then at the same time, you would have women who say that, okay, we might be doing the same thing, but at the same time, you still have to be a man.
They know how to be a man. Let me know.
No.
No, that's
women.
what I was
Women,
saying.
yeah, women are telling us men that we still have to be men, even though they're doing everything we're doing.
Yeah.
Listen.
Women are playing football, man.
You know what I mean?
They're playing
so
chess.
is that
Forget football. That's 5 steps ahead. They're playing chess. Mind games. They just sit back and just watch you just fuck your whole life up just by saying it. It's like, all right, I gotta be a man. Yeah. And you just got off the whole topic of confronting them on something that they did. Flip. They just
I mean,
that's why I say women are awesome. They're awesome. Listen, they're
there's
awesome.
a wild
creatures.
double standard going on with this.
Man, listen. Uh-oh, here we go. Sit back. I want to hear
Gotta
this
get
from
ready,
George.
right?
I'm ready.
I'm listening to him.
No, George.
Because it's a double
No,
standard.
I want to hear
I
this,
wanna hear
bro.
this double standard.
Talk, sir. Talk.
Oh, well,
Let's go.
like I just stated, and you know, they want to do everything that we do.
They do. They don't want to. They do.
And they
You mean they
and
are,
they do,
they are.
and they are doing it. But yet and still, we still have to be accountable as men, because it's like, you know, we can't have the same job, making the same type of money, and not treat them.
You still pay for dinner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you still didn't pay for the cab.
And they're gonna save all their money, but yet and still, you still have to spend all the years.
see, that's
because you
what-
have to court them.
That's where you have to you have to control yourself and be accountable for yourself, right? So you can't sip into the mind games or seep into the mind games of going back and forth with that topic.
Well, I may not do it, you may not do it, he may not do it, but you have a
We
lot of
all
men
do
who's
it.
out there
I do
doing
it.
it.
Yeah.
I do it. You know what I'm saying? We all get into it and then we realize, like, damn, she just played me for a fool. But we have to be accountable for what we know about ourselves and what we do. So when situations like that happen, we see them as our equal, and it's like, yeah, let's go out. Okay, no problem. You know we're going that track.
So are there like true real gender roles out here?
That depends on who you are.
Right.
Yeah, because like if you're living in the Midwest, then you're gonna get a wife that's at home, right? If you're in New York,
Why everybody keep hating on the women in New York? Yo?
I'm not. I love it.
New York are strong-willed, right? So they have their own. They really don't need a man for shit, and they will tell you that, right?
Right.
So it's a clear distinction between where you live and the type of person you are.
Right.
It's just that simple.
How do you feel about that, Chuck?
Yeah.
I like that answer. Yeah.
Well, on that point, so we're going to just wrap up this segment.
That was the illest answer ever.
And so stay tuned to the next episode, or the next segment anyway, and we'll be right back. Oh, man,
said,
you
yeah,
were full. He was like,
That's it.
That's it.
He said wrap it up like 3 times.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. I was just caught up.
Every time
I know, but I couldn't.
No.
I can't get my thought out. I saw you.
I was told straight up.
I'm unplugging.
You guys are feeling the mood.
Welcome back, everybody. So we have a new guest on the show, my man Michael Johnson. He's a writer, director. So welcome, brother.
Thanks for having me, man.
Nah, not a problem, not a problem. So, you know, I know you was over here laid up in the cut on the last segment and stuff. So what do you think about the whole, you know, gender roles and women raising men?
I mean, gender roles, it depends on where you are. Like, each coast has their own gender roles, man. Like in LA, they're laid back surfer chicks. In New York, they're hardworking, nose to the ground. And in the Midwest, it's like housewives, man. So I don't really
What about the South?
Man. The South is just the Southern peaches, man, as they say, you know? Can't go wrong in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Can't go wrong.
The polar opposites. Either you got a twerker or you got a
Exactly.
That can still twerk.
That can still twerk.
Exactly.
Either way, you're going to be happy.
You'll be well fed too. I'll tell you that. Well fed. Well fed.
No doubt. So I know you got a project that you're working on and stuff. So
Yes.
like, what's the name of your project?
It's called Civil War right now. It's
Yeah.
in the works, man. It's in the works.
So tell us what's that about?
It's basically about the organ trafficking amongst the black community right now. Pretty much what's going on with you guys, what happens when the police stop you, take the organ donating thing off your IDs and everything, you know? Right. It shows you the steps that it goes through. Like, it's just not the cops killing you. It's also regular people that you never see before, you know? Like a funeral home will pop up in your neighborhood and you'll never know why because, you know, wherever there's crime, there's business. So you have to watch things like that, and I want to show people to like look in your neighborhoods and pay attention to who's coming in your neighborhood now.
Right.
Watch the disguises, watch what's going on, police patrols pick up, you know, watch the gang activity that picks up because people know that cops provoke some of that stuff. That's what undercover work is.
Right.
So I just want to make sure you guys see it, man, you know, and know it's there.
We got some money to make. Perfect. You got your vest on you, right? You got your vest on you, right? Cool. This is the target. That's his address. Let's roll.
So what was your inspiration that got you to, you know, want to create this film?
The Kendrick Johnson case in Atlanta. I was trying to figure out how a kid went from going to school to being rolled up in a gym mat to the coroner's office to a funeral home to the ground with newspaper in his body, and nobody knew. So I was sitting there confused as to why like nobody spoke about it, how many cases were there, and once I started doing research, I found over like 3,000 cases, and I'm like, nobody says nothing. You know, we make up 40% of the missing people in America. Wow. And nobody knows that. That's a big number of us like gone.
Is that because organ donors on my ID? Because that's just something.
Yeah, that means like if you get into a car accident, the ambulance won't really help you because somebody needs your organs. People pay for that, you know? Because black organs are supposed to be genetically stronger. So even back in the day, this was happening, like during slavery. Yeah. It was a big, major issue. So I was like, yo, somebody has to say something. Right?
I was just reading something about that in regards to like women wanting to keep their afterbirth, the placentas and stuff like that, because it has like, you know, the nutrients and DNA. I heard they was using some woman's DNA. She lived to be like 90 something or 100 or whatever, and they were still using her placenta and stuff like that to, you know, cure different things or whatever.
Wow, I heard about that too. I can't remember the name, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like, you got to think about it. A baby's in there for 9 months, right? All those nutrients and everything that you've eaten for that baby to actually grow into an actual child. When it comes out, people actually cook placentas and eat it.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
You know,
I just found that out as well.
It's like you could actually cook it and get your like the woman could get the nutrients back that she gave out to that child.
Oh my God,
that's crazy. I mean, it sounds crazy, but at the same time, it's like
it kind of makes sense.
People eat chitlins, so
and that's the power. And that's the power of the PUSSY.
Yes,
and
I respect it.
It gives and gets back.
Yep.
Yeah, that man, that's great.
Yeah.
So should all black men take organ donor off their IDs?
I would recommend it, mainly because, you know, if you just heard about 40% of us missing, that clearly means nobody cares, man, and you don't want your organs gone. Like, if you die, the state pretty much has jurisdiction over your body. So, like, if you're my brother and you got shot and you had organ donor, I can't do nothing until they release your body to me, whenever they feel like they want to.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's a crazy
So
thing.
in turn, they could actually perform an autopsy without giving authority?
Exactly. You'll get what's called a Y incision on your body, and they'll lift it open, and they'll take everything out and just staple you back up. It sends you right to the funeral home.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and they'll just show the
before
pictures
you can come in and have a say to it.
Nothing. You can't say anything. Can't do nothing to them, man. It's really crazy. Like, you got to learn those laws quick. Like quick. That's New York State law. You gotta learn that quick, man.
Oh, wow. So how long have you been working on this project?
Since August. It went through like maybe 1 million rewrites. At first it was a movie, and then I realized I had too much to say. So I'm like, maybe a web series is better, maybe a couple episodes, turn it into something else, you know, just to start it off.
A web series, documentary, or just a...
It's just more like a web series to continue to go on, but it's gonna be shot almost documentary style too as well. To like just give people like the realness of what's going on in New York City, because believe it or not, in New York City, we're actually leading also in things like that. Like organ trafficking and selling of human body parts. Nobody knows.
I mean, when you could do it right in the street,
Yeah.
it's legal, quote unquote.
Exactly. You would never know. Like, you would never know.
Does this have any connection to all the kids that are coming up missing in DC?
Yes, it does have connections with that as well. I have a second part to my web series about the child trafficking and also child pornography.
Right.
Because people don't know that that's another big thing going on. You know, like your kid goes missing, they're not trying to kill him. No. They're out there, you know, giving them to these little churches and whatnot, which is a documentary I saw where they was like purchasing children and pretty much making like sex tapes and all this craziness. So I'm like, wow. You taking the innocence of a child for what? You know, that's crazy, man.
So didn't they just arrest some ministers or pastors for child trafficking the other day?
A lot of stuff like that. They arrested some people in Toronto for having
Yes,
a $400 million child pornography ring in 2 towers.
What?
Wait,
Exactly. What? You wouldn't even know about that. You never even heard nothing. You know, so I'm like, maybe somebody has to speak, man. Somebody has to make something.
Right.
You know, somebody has to say something for these people. You never know.
So, I mean, it's a good idea, and it's a good thing that you're doing this and stuff, because, you know, people need to be aware.
Definitely.
You know, so, well, like, what type of other projects do you have, you know, for the future?
I got a sci-fi one I'm coming out with called Ebony Gold, because there's no like black superheroes for women. So I want to make one that's like, you know, she represents strength, she still shows her femininity, and she still represents everything that's black as well. You know, so hopefully I can get that up and running as well.
Might be our new favorite superhero.
Yeah, she's in a rock of fro too, man. So I gotta keep it real.
All right, just to get back to something, how much could I get for a kidney?
About 250,000.
What?
Yeah, 250,000 about.
Shit.
Depending on who wants it and your blood type. So if your blood type is O negative, your body dead is worth about 75 million. Because
Well, you know, I just was watching the Purge last night,
Connected
so...
to anybody.
That's crazy. What about A negative?
I don't know about A negative. I know.
So I'm worth it.
I think AB negative is the rarest one.
Does it say that on your license?
You know.
What? Blood type?
Your blood type.
Nah. You just gotta know it. Like,
I won't be surprised if they put it
I always
on.
donate blood, so I know mine.
Summer sessions, and I know you know about this, during the summer sessions, a lot of stuff that you wouldn't think gets passed because no one's paying attention to City Hall, no one's paying attention to Albany, no one's paying attention to DC. So it won't be surprised if you see these little things that lead up to big things.
Exactly.
So the situation is little things that's leading up to very big things.
Smoking mirrors.
So it's about 4 of us here. We can get about $1 million.
Way more than that.
15, 20.
Worth way more than that.
Clarence body type, right? We're gonna be billionaires.
Guys,
Now you guys want to auction off my damn organs, man. I thought
we trying to fund the man cave, right? In memory of Clay.
Can't do it without me, I'm just saying.
No, you gonna be right there.
Stuff in memory.
I like that.
So, but Michael, man, thank you for coming through and stuff like that.
Definitely.
Greatly appreciate it, man. You know, you made us aware. I mean, I know I learned a lot tonight.
I learned a
whole
man.
You know,
Thanks
I mean,
for
like,
having me,
crazy.
man. Thanks for having me.
So, you know, I wish you all the best with your project.
Thanks.
And so when it's time to come out, man, we're gonna bring you back on the show. So
Definitely, I'll definitely come back. I
right.
gotta come like this guy though, man.
Yeah, he's a smooth guy. He's a smooth guy.
snatch
So-
it.
Yeah, he actually posed for that for the logo. You know
Oh
what I'm saying?
man.
Yeah, that's him.
That's
That's
my
him.
logo, too. I
Well,
respect
everybody, so that's another episode of the Man Cave. Once again, I'm your host, Clay Williams. Thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Peace.